Hello everybody, today's video is a little bit different. In this video we are going to print this 3D Jinx model with Elegoo Mars 5 Ultra. And in this video I'm going to show you how you can set up all the Jinx model parts inside the Elegoo software ready for printing, and the idea is to print multiple parts at once so we can save time. Later on we're gonna review different accessories like the mini heater, the air purifier, and then I'm going to show you the final product after we print all the parts from the Jinx model. So if you are into 3D printing, this video will be very useful. If you enjoyed any of the videos on this channel, and if you are a fan, could you do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button? Surprisingly, 85% of the people who watched my videos are unsubscribed. Your quick action of hitting that subscribe button will support this channel, and as it grows, we will be able to share even more free content with you. Alright, so let's take a look at the printer, which is the Mars Elegoo Ultra. And the first thing that you notice is that it has this big lid. This lid is a protective cover from the smell and from the light, so you can take it off like that, and it will reveal the printer itself. So the first thing that you notice is this head of the printer where we are going to print the actual 3D model. Detaching it to clean it or to gather your model is super easy. You just use this handle, so you just clip it, and the printing plate is released. The printing plate has this pattern on it, and here is the field where you're going to print your 3D models. The next thing is the bath. Here in the bath you're going to pour your liquid, and there are two screws with which you can detach the liquid bath. So just unscrew this one and this one. Once you detach it, this is a pure metal and it has a plastic cover underneath. Also, you have this marker for the max level. This is where your liquid should be maxed out, and you should not exceed the marker of the max. The other thing that you have is an AI camera, which will get and capture the time lapse. On the side you can see it has a Wi-Fi antenna, and it has a DC adapter, a switch to turn off. On the back of the lid you can find a hole where you can attach different accessories. Once you turn on the printer, what you have here at the top right is your Wi-Fi. It is connected to my local Wi-Fi network. The other thing is showing the degrees of the printer right now. So it is 21 Celsius. Now if you go to the menus, if you go into the settings, what you can do is you can change your language. Here at the Wi-Fi you can select your Wi-Fi network and connect to it, so you can control the printer through your computer. The other thing that you can access is the app settings. Here at the app settings you can factory reset, you can format the files on a flash drive that you input, you can select from the temperature units, either you use Celsius or Fahrenheit. If we swipe to the right, we have a print mode. You have two types of print mode. The first one is standard and the second one is high speed. If you need an element pretty fast, you can use high speed, but I recommend to print on standard. Then you have a version upgrade. You can check for updates. Let's go under tools. The next thing is the LCD exposure time. From here you can test different exposures. The one important thing is the tank cleaning. When you are finished with your print, you need to go into the tank cleaning, boost it up around to 45 seconds and hit start. It will start creating a bottom layer which you can easily separate, and then your cleaning will be very easy. Under printing, if we go to the local files, we can see here that I've imported different local files, and from here you can just select any of your local file and hit print or just delete it. So you can either print through your Wi-Fi network or you can use a USB drive and print on local files if you don't have a Wi-Fi or internet. Also under history, you can see all the printing, and if I go here and I have my print time 5 hours 56 minutes and 60 seconds. And this is the history of my printer. So those are the basic settings of the Elegoo Mars Ultra. The next thing that I want to show you is the photopolymer Resin, which is 3.0 plus. And if we open the package, you You can see that we have 1 liter of Elegoo Resin, and this is a photopolymer resin, and this is a white one. The important thing is to shake up the bottle before use. Also, wear glove and mask when using, keep away from children and dust, and recommended temperature for using this photopolymer resin 20 to 25 Celsius. Very important thing, wash with plenty of water if you get skin contact with resin. When I'm using this resin, I bought a self-care gloves. I always use this kind of glove, so it is pretty easy to place. And you just work like that, and then you just throw the glove away because those gloves are for single use, and this is the safest way to use this resin. So I highly suggest, if you are printing with this Elegoo resin, use a self-care gloves. Those self-care gloves are powder free, so keep this in mind, and there are hundreds gloves in one box and it costs like €5. The other protective gear that you must have is this mask. So when you're working with resin, every time use a mask like this. They're pretty cheap and you can buy also in bulk, so you can buy maybe 100 of them, and always use a mask because the resin has a high smell and it is toxic to your lungs. So always use a mask when you're pouring your resin or getting the print out. Let me also show you the tools that come with the Elegoo Mars Ultra. Those are tools that will help you out separating your 3D printed model from the base. This is a plastic one, and this is a metal one with which you can separate your 3D model from the plate. The other cool thing that is coming with the printer are those filtered funnels. So here at the bottom of this funnel you have very small net, and once you finish printing you need to get your liquid inside your bottle again, and using one of those funnels to filter out hard resin particles, this is a great funnel to use while you're getting your liquid back in your tube. The other thing that comes inside with the printer is this plastic protector. And this plastic protector is once your model is finished and you want to detach the base from your printer. So once you finish printing, what you need to do is place this plastic cover over here onto the bathtub. The next item that I've got is mini heater, and this one is super helpful if your room or the place that you're printing doesn't have enough heat in it and the printer cannot get between 20 to 25 degrees. So what this mini heater looks like is a simple plastic rectangle, and here you set up the start and stop. Here is your power connector, and underneath you have a ventilator, and this ventilator is detachable. So if I detach it, you can see a little ventilator, and by using this ventilator it is pumping air through the heater, and here it is ejecting the heat from the heater. The idea of this is you can attach this to your plastic box and start heating your printer inside. And in this package you also have 2 additional small ventilators to replace the original one. And once we connect it to a power supply like that, you just press this button, the heater will load up and it will start getting air from the bottom, sucking air, and it will extract heat from here. So this mini heater will heat up your printer if you cannot achieve the temperature for printing between 20 and 25 degrees. So now let me show how you can attach the mini heater to your plastic cover. The first thing is you have this plastic plate and you just need to place this plastic cover like that. Then we take the mini heater and we place the mini heater like that, plug in the cable. So I'm just attaching it using the 2 screws in the pack. And now your mini heater is attached to your plastic cover. And once you place it onto your printer, it will start heating up inside the printer and you'll be able to print even in rooms with lower temperatures. The easy way to start it is just click this button. And now your mini heater will start heating inside your printer. The most important thing that I would personally suggest you to get is this Elegoo Air Purifier. And if you're printing in home condition, this is one of the necessary things that you want, because the resin is too smelly and toxic, and this air purifier purifies the air inside the printer and it ejects clean air without the resin particles. If we open the air purifier, here you can see this is the filter, and the filter is pretty big. If I slide it up, you can see this is the filter of the air purifier. It is pretty huge and it is a HEPA filter. So this is the air purifier enclosed, and this is the interface that is going to use. So if I click this button, it is a touch button, it will turn on the air purifier, and we have this pipe, and this pipe we are going to connect to the lid of the printer, and from here it is sucking the air, going inside the purifier and cleaning up the air. From here you can select two different speeds. This is high speed. If I click, we are going to switch to the low speed. It will be less noisy. Here it will be more noisy, but it will suck a lot of air and clean it more. There is also an auto option, so if I turn it on, it will automatically switch between fast and slow fan speed. And here under filter, when this indicator turns, it says that you need to change your filter. If you want to turn it off, just hold up the start button and it will turn it off. So in this box we have the wash and cure machine. It is designed and manufactured by Elegoo.com, and this exactly is the Mercury Access bundle. So let's open this box and see what's inside. So let's see what's inside and get rid of this foam. And the first thing that we have here is handheld UV lamp and safety goggles inside this small package. So let's open it and see how they look. You have here your safety goggles with a little piece of cloth. And let's see what else is inside. So this is our handheld UV lamp. And again, it's in a package, looking pretty good. So the wash and cure machine is designed of two pieces. This is your foundation over here, and this one is the actual cure and wash machine. So let's open it up and see what's inside. So this is the foundation. On the foundation you have this big button, which is a controller, and we have on top this turntable. We have two cables over here on this side and one cable over here. On the side we have here airflow, vents for the airflow. On the back we have a supply connector, power supply connector, and here we have another connector. So this one is our washing station. What you need to be careful is on the top of it, it says, as an alcohol is flammable and explosive liquid, please cover the lid of the cleaning bucket when it is not in the use to avoid evaporation of alcohol. So every time you are not using this, please use this cover to prevent any kind of damage, explosion or fire. So let's go open it and see what's inside. So here we have bolts and a screw for the bolts. So this is the power connector for our cure machine. The next thing is this is our LED, and it says the light bar should be installed on the left side slot of the machine, and the machine can work normally only if the two terminals below are connected correctly. So keep this in mind. This is our light bar. Here we have our second light bar. The same thing with a plastic cover on the light bar. And this is the foundation for our cleaning mode. So it says in the cleaning mode, please add an appropriate amount of cleaning solution. So it's the same. You have the vents here, you have the big controller, and on the back you have the power supply. And this is our liquid bucket. And on the bottom you can see we have a turn wheel. So this is pretty much what's inside of the Mercury Access bundle. The final print that we are going to make is Jinx, and this model was made in ZBrush, then imported into Maya and finalized. I'm going to show you how you can finalize your model in order to be ready for print. So this is a pure ZBrush sculpt, and you can see that it has a lot of polygons over here. However, this is a print and not a game model. So all the little details over here, you know, the wrinkles on the cloth, the pistol and everything, the trousers, the line on the trousers, everything will be very highly precise printed. In later on when we print this model, you can see that Elegoo is capable of getting all those little details out into the model with very high quality. So it is exported from ZBrush and it is modeled on parts. So here is the head, and if I hide the head, each one of the braids over here are on a separate model, and this is a separate printable piece because I'm gonna print everything on different pieces. The most important thing is to create connectors, and the idea of those connectors is later on when you're assembling the model, everything to fit perfectly. So for this hair braid, if I hide it, you can see that here there is a cut, and this braid goes perfectly into this cut over here. And when you assemble the model, this is the way that you need to do it. And if I hide the head, you can see another pin over here, so it can be assembled. And later on that part over here, we can apply glue and stick everything together. Those are separated in different parts. So this is one printable object, this is second printable object, and all of them have connectors. So let me show you. This is third, this is fourth. Those at the bottom, they also have connectors like that. And if I hide them, the torso is different. The torso is on separate layer because we're gonna print only the torso. Then we're gonna print the arms, and we have created big connectors here, so we can place some glue over here. Then we have the hands. This hand is with the gun of Jinx. And the next arm is the same. You have this connector, same for this hand, and you can see how the connectors are hidden behind the cloth. And here is the trousers, and on the bottom of the trousers another connectors for the boots. So right now we have this model ready from ZBrush to Maya, and what we need to do over here is to export each part to STL file. STL files are the files that Elegoo software will read. So I'm going to select this one, and if you're using Maya, you need to go to Settings Preference, Plugin Manager, search for STL, and enable the STL translator. Then go to File, click Export Selection, and from this selection, because I'm only exporting this selection, you need to select STL. Then hit export, and then export each piece separately. So once I export this, I'm gonna select this, export again, export this, export this, export this, and now I'm going to show you how to load up the parts in Elegoo software and what are the settings there. So now let's take a look at the software of Elegoo. So this is the Elegoo SatelLite, and the first thing that you need to do is you need to add your device. So from here you just click new device. From here you can select a lot of different printers. So I'm using the Elegoo, and in my case I'm using the Mars 5 Ultra. So I'm just gonna select it, click next, and set it up. When you set it up, you're gonna have your printer in the device history, and once I click on my printer, I can see all the settings for my printer. So after you set up the printer, the next step is to prepare your model for printing. So let's click on the second tab, which is Prepare. And here in the Prepare, you can see that we have here the plate, the metal plate, and this is the front part of the plate. By clicking plus, you can add additional metal plate. So if I hit plus, you can see here that I have a second metal plate. I can lock it, I can hide it in terms of visibility, and I can just delete it from the X button. So right now we're working with one plate because we have one printer, and you can set up multiple plates and send the different printing setups to different printers. But as I'm working with just one printer, from here you can name your different printers. Let's say this is my printer 1, and you can name all the plates that you want. From here you can change the view, top view, right view, left view, just like in any 3D software like Maya, Blender, or Max. So let's add the STL file. the easiest way to add the STF file, select your STF file, drag and drop it into the printer. It will load up, and the next thing that we have is model damage detection, perform automatic model repair. What this means is that in ZBrush, when this model was created, it has some different kind of faces, let's say triangle faces, quads, 5 side faces, etc. And what the Elegoo software wants is to repair your mesh. So just click repair, and it will start checking for errors and automatically repair your geometry. So no need for you to go into Maya or Max and start, cleaning up your geometry. After the automatic repair is done, you can see here the results. So we have shells, we have bad edges which are repaired, we have holes, we have bad orientation, etc. And the software fixed everything for you. So just hit confirm. And right now this is our selection head. So what you can do is go from the top view and start moving it around. So what we can do here is print multiple elements onto this plate. But let me show you the other features before we start adding up more and more files. So from here you can select the move tool and move it, maybe place it on the build plate, move to the build plate center. From here you can start rotating it like that if you want. You can clear the rotation. From here you can start scaling it up. You have the size in millimeters, and here is the original percentage size. You can do it uniformly, or you can disable the uniform scale and start scaling up, let's say on different axes. And here we have the preview. So if I put something like 200, you can see the preview and how this will be scaled up when you hit apply. It will start scaling up uniformly. So if I want the head to be bigger with 50%, I can do that. So the mirroring mode is something very useful, for example, if you're making hands and you want to mirror them on different directions. So select your model, click on mirror and click preview. And what you can do is just click any of the arrows. And once you click the arrow, you can see that it starts mirroring it to the opposite side. Let's click this one. Let's click this one. This one. And by hitting apply, you can copy the original model and have one more mirror of the model. So the next tool palette is here. You can make the model hollow. You can also make holes into the model. So if I select the hole, and let's say we need to extend the length, let's say to 50 millimeters. And right now I can make holes into my model. So if I click here and then click confirm, it will make a hole through my model, like this is a spear, and it just penetrates my model. This is something maybe useful for you, but right now for this model, it is okay not to use holes. So right now what we've done is we've repaired the model, and if we orbit right now, you can see that my model here, the connector is placed on the grid. So very useful thing that when you're creating characters like that is to add supports, and those supports are very important in order your model to get out correctly of your printer. So what I will do is click here, support, and those are the supports. Of course, there are a lot of settings that you can set up here in the support, but I'm just going to generate automatic supports. In 95% of the cases, this is just working straight out of the box. So click generate automatic supports, and it will start generating supports which are helping just for the printing, and later on you're just gonna remove them from the model, and it is super easy to remove supports as the supports connectors are super fragile, and with just very soft and gentle push they are just detached from the model. So those are all the supports that are going to be printed, and let's go from the top view, and you can see that the plate is a little bit bigger for the printing, so I'm gonna move it like that, and I'm gonna hit back. So we've prepared one of the models. So let me show you how you can add multiple models. Let's add the left hand and the right hand. So I'm going to select those two, drag and drop them over here. And once the repair process is completed, again, click confirm. And right now the two models are penetrating each other. So I'm going to left click and I'm going to start moving them like that and like that. And as you can see, those models still will need support because only the knuckle here is the first layer that it starts printing. I'm not saying that it's not going to print, but it's kind of risky just to let it print like that. So I'm going to add a support to this one, generate automatic support. Alright, so we have support on this one, and I'm going to add support to this one too, support, generate automatic support. And let's move them around so we can have great spacing between them. I intentionally left more space between them because I don't want to penetrate each one. So something like this. Alright, so in this batch I'm gonna print those three in one single print. And from this slider you can see how the printer will start printing them. So first you're gonna print the supports, then we're gonna start printing the model itself, and it will be finished. So it will require 1747 layers, which is 87 millimeters. On the right side here, you can see all the details for the print. Which printer are we going to print? So I just have this one, but if you have multiple printers, you can select different. This is your Resin, this is the build plate, this is the volume, the weight, the layers that are going to be needed, the layer thickness. The printing time will be 2 hours and 30 minutes, and the price of the print. So I'm just gonna print those three for $2, which is super cheap. The next step is to slice it. So in order to slice them correctly, you need to select all the three of them. So I'm gonna select the hand, I'm gonna hold shift on my keyboard, select the pistol with the hand and the head. And then I'm gonna click slice. Then Elegoo software will start slicing it, and it will show you the slicing process. Here on the right side you see a two-dimensional slicing and how the layers will be start printing in very much details. All right, and this is how it will print it up. If you have Elegoo Mars 5, which I think is one of the best comparing price to quality, you can use the network transmission, or you can save the slice file to a flash drive and then load up the files through the USB port on your printer. But I'm just going to use the network transmission. And once you click it, you need to select a name for your printing. So let's say this is print, and the format for the printing is .goo, and then I'm going to hit confirm. And after the export, what you have here is the list of all the printers that are added, and you can just select the printer that you want and send the printable file to it. Also, you can turn on or off the time lapse. This is when the printer starts printing, to use the AI camera for time lapse. Let's send the file by clicking send, and the information starts sending. Now here in this progress bar, you see how the sending process is going to work. Right now 25%, 30%, and once it's finished, I'm going to show you how you can start printing. Once the file is successfully sent, you just need to hit print and the printer will start printing. So this is the final print of Jinx, and as you can see, it is super big. If I compare it to my keyboard, it is almost the length of an entire keyboard. Let me show you a closer look. Everything is super smooth, and you can see all the cloth wrinkles. Let me show you the torso. The stomach is also great. There are a few different things that need fixes, like those, but those are created from the supports and I need to clean them up. But overall, the print is super good. This is like super smooth. This is super smooth surface, and if we zoom in into the face, you can see how good the face looks like. Everything is super detailed and super smooth, and of course I was printing on standard. You can increase the layer count and increase the fidelity even more. Let's check out the pistol. You can see here the boots, pretty nice details. Overall, the quality of the Mars 5 Ultra, for the price that it is just insane. And if I need to compare it, this is another printer that I had in the past. This is printed with Ultimaker, and if I zoom in here, you can see the layers pretty obviously, and the quality is pretty low. You can see on the hands, this is printed by standard Ultimaker printer, and the quality itself is kind of bad, to be honest, because you can see all the wrinkles, you can see all the layers over here, and to polish this it will need a lot of work. So if we are talking about quality, you can obviously see that this is a great printer for the price that it is. Thank you guys for watching this video. Take care and see you in my next video.